In this lecture, we're going to talk about what are the formative specifier and how to use them. You will be able to understand how many types of formative specifier are there. The most common one, there are many of them, and every programming language have a different formative specifier, but we will gonna only cover those who are mostly used by every programming language and are very common, and these are the only one that you will gonna use in your professional life. So let's get started. Formative specifier are basically the supporters that provide you a functionality, a way to format your result, whether you display it or store it somewhere. The purpose of formative specifier is to format something. So let's get started. Let's see if we have an example here. We're gonna use the printf function, which is in PHP used to provide the formatted result or formatted display. So if we say Pakistan have 4 provinces. Okay, so let's say we have a variable province and the value is coming from whatever database or a user input or a font. So instead of this 4, we want to print this province. So what we do, we parse the % sign into the string, and then there are multiple formative specifier as I explained. So for integer, we either use D or U. U is basically from PHP. D is the global one. Everyone use D for the integer display. But you can say U is only when you don't have a plus or minus value, just a simple integer. But D, you can add minus or either plus, both type of integers, because integer could be minus, 0 or plus, any value, positive, negative. So that's the only difference between U and D. So we will gonna say D, and now here we will gonna parse the province variable. So let's see now, save it, go back, and as we know, our file is this undefined variable province, line number 5. Oh, I'm sorry, there's a S. Okay, so you see 4 is here. Perfect. So this is for the integer. Now, for instance, if we have a value which is in decimal number, a float, so we're gonna take a variable and we will assign the value of 1.4. So here we can just say today value is now %, and this time the value is float. And for your checking, let's use D. I will gonna show you what will gonna happen. Float. And by the way, this is the printf function, and most of the programming language functions for displaying use the same syntax. So you can append as many argument or parameters here after the string that you are providing here, and each of the sequence will gonna take from the sequence of format specifier. So first we're gonna go with the first, second coming one we're gonna go with the second one, third we're gonna go with the third one. So sequence is exactly like how you are defining the values here. So save it, go back. Okay, unexpected printf, maybe because I left it without semicolon. Save it, come back. Now you can see, because we use the D, which is only for the integer, not for the decimal number, or either you can call it a float in programming term. So it is only printing the 1. So in that case, we cannot use the D. It is for the integer. So here we have a float, and for float we use F. Save it. And now you see 1.4 is here. We have all unnecessary zeros here. So to handle that, we have to go back here, and out of the box, PHP provides this feature with the float format specifier. We can define how many digits we want after the decimal. So in our case, we can say 4 is the only digit, so we can go with 1. So if I save again, come back here, and you see it's gone. This is not the feature of the programming, but it is specifically the feature of PHP. Other languages might have a different feature, so don't get confused if you do not see these type of extra format specifier feature in other languages. So it is, as far as I know, a feature related to PHP. All right. So the next one that we have is C, %C. Basically, %C in other languages like C++ or C, they have defined as a single character, a boolean, 0 or 1 or simple one letter, number or whatever. But in here PHP, C defines as a return of ASCII code. So what it will gonna do, let me show you here. C, we will gonna take the variable name and I will gonna assign a value of 20, and here after that we are checking C. And by the way, to get simpler, I will just gonna remove these. We are checking C, and here because we have only one format specifier pass here, there should be only one variable pass here as well. Save it, come back, refresh. We are checking. Okay, nothing is coming up, so let's change the value to maybe 50. Save it, come back. So 2. So let's check ASCII code table. So here you would be able to see we were using 50, and fair enough, 50 have a character of 2. So as far as I remember, the character of A should be 97. Save it, come back. Yes. So it is representing the ASCII code character here instead of the single character that most of the programming language use. This one is clear. Now the next one is a B. B actually in PHP return the binary value of any character. So for instance, if we go back to our ASCII table, if they have a binary code, now let's check the other one. Here it is. If I select 50, the binary code should be this. So let's go with the same one, B 50. Now here I will define B and B, save it, come back. Again forgot the semicolon. Yep, perfect. Now the another one is for the string. Let's say S is equals to now string. So instead of using B, we will gonna use S. So a string pretty much cover everything, even though a string character, letters, numbers, everything. You see, everything covers in S, but it is represent as a string. So these are the pretty much the most common one. In fact, B and C are not very common. You will be only using S or D and F. So these are the format specifier, and I hope you have understand and learn it properly. So take care for now. See you in the next video.